Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the very last of our Dominaria full set review. We're going to be going through all of the white cards, and to help me get through, I have with me again Anthony. How you going?
Yeah, good, Brett. How you doing?
Pretty good. Ready to have a look at some excellent white cards.
Yeah, white looks pretty good. Adamant Will, we'll start with that. One and a white for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains indestructible until end of turn. Yes, it costs 2 mana. It doesn't cost 1. This is great.
Well, this is one you were hoping to get in black, and now it's just here in white.
Yeah, I guess indestructibles are more in white now. Yeah, this is a decent combat trick. It's much better at 1, but I'm really glad it's at 2.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this would be way overpowered at 1. But it's still a very good combat trick, and most white decks are going to want to have one of these in there.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Good little pickup there. Obviously, you don't have to take this early in your drafts or that sort of thing, but you should try to get one or two in your white decks.
Yeah.
Next, we have an Aven Sentry. This is a 4-mana 3/2 with flying. Good old French vanilla creatures, which
Yeah,
is it's fine.
It's on par. It's fine.
So you need some creatures in your deck, and this is a perfectly serviceable creature.
Yep. Blue-white flyers. Bard. Is it Bard? Steward of Argive. 2 white for a 2/4 legendary creature human soldier. It has vigilance, and creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker you control unless their controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. So this is sort of like your kind of propaganda type effect. I don't know. It's got its place somewhere, right?
Yeah, and I guess it's that blue-white flyers deck that's so common. These this guy is good, solid, holding the ground sort of thing, like big toughness, 2/4, and making it harder for your opponents to attack, which is good.
Yeah.
Going to be really good against the green-white sort of go wide, or the green-black sapperling sort of decks.
Yeah, that's going to be annoying.
But yeah, he looks good. I think you would probably want to have him in your decks.
Yeah, and good. Another uncommon legendary, which is probably good for white.
Yeah, so keep an eye out on that one. Double white's a little tricky, so you can't just sort of throw it anywhere, but it seems fine.
Yeah.
Next we have the Banalish Honor Guard as a 2-mana 2/2, so 1 and a white for a bear. Human Knight, so relevant subtype, and Banalish Honor Guard gets +1/+0 for each legendary creature you control. So
That's a nice little bonus.
it's fine. I mean, most of the time this is going to be just a 2-mana 2/2, but there are plenty of legendary creatures running around, so you're going to get a 3/2 or maybe even a 4/2 sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, decent guy. Yeah, there's not too much to say about it, really.
Not too much, yeah. Play your bears.
Yep. The Banalish Marshal. White. For a 3/3 Human Knight, and other creatures you control get +1/+1. So this is good for your go wide strategy.
Very good for the go wide strategy, and certainly I think going to be a role player in standard. You're going to have that knight deck, the white black sort of knights, lots of tokens. So this is the anthem effect. You're going to need to bump them up in power level.
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool. Do you think there's enough for standard in knights?
Having a look through, I think there's going to be enough to play. I mean, you might be a little bit short. Might have to wait for the next set to come out to hopefully extend them a little bit more. But I think from what I've seen so far, there's definitely maybe not a top tier, but a competitive Knights deck.
Cool. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah. Swinging it back around to limited though, this is triple white, so like we said for the other ones, it's hard to cast. You need to be really dedicated to white to play it. But if you are dedicated enough to white, you're probably going to be able to support that ability. So you're going to have lots of creatures, the little creatures, and play that white weenie strategy.
Yeah, definitely. Again, expect this to come out turn 5, turn 6.
Yeah. Next we have the Blessed Light. This is your common white removal spell. This is 5 mana, exile target creature or enchantment at instant speed.
Yeah, at least it's an instant. So it lets you hold up, like in your blue control decks, you can hold up this with your other flash creatures that they've got in there. Yeah, I don't know, but it's expensive.
It's expensive. It's fine. It's the removal that you play because you have to play removal.
Yeah.
You're going to put these in your deck just because you need a removal spell. It's nice that it has a little bit of utility to kill enchantments as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, this is not your premium removal, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can get those sagas before they go off.
All aboard!
The Weatherlight. 1 and a white for a sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a historic card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So this is sort of similar to the green one for 1 mana that we saw, which gets a creature or land. This one only gets historic cards.
Yeah, I mean, I think the green one, was that a legendary creature or land? Or was it just
Oh,
creature
was
or
it?
land? No,
I
I think
thought it
you're
was
right. I
just...
think it's creature or land. It is. You're right though. It's weird to see this effect in white. We see this in green a lot, where they dig a few cards down and you take one of them. White usually has much more targeted sort of finding of things.
Yeah.
It seems good though. I mean, historic. We're gonna have artifacts. We're gonna have sagas. We're gonna have legendaries. The white deck seems to have a bit of an artifact equipment theme as well.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to be able to pick up some of those. So I think this is going to be a good player in the white deck.
Yeah, but I don't think it's something you need. It's just something that will help smooth out your draws a little bit. So pick it up a bit later. It's not essential.
Yeah, for sure. You want to pick up your good creatures and you want to have those good artifacts and stuff before you bother with this sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Next, we're going to call the Cavalry. This is a 4-mana sorcery and creates 2 White Knight creature tokens with Vigilance. So just 4 mana, make 2 2/2s. It's good.
That's really good. Yeah, 4/4 stats for 4 is good, and at common and over 2 bodies. I really like that, especially with the go wide strategies in green white and probably blue white.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all the stats you need. Mana equal to power and toughness. And I don't think people really appreciate how much having 2 bodies matters, because it attacks not quite as well as a 4/4, but it blocks as good as a 4/4. And if they kill one of them, you still have half. It doesn't get taken down by 1 removal spell.
Yeah, exactly.
So really useful. Definitely want to play some of these.
Yep. And good with effects like this. Charge. 1 white mana for an instant, and creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. This isn't the best version of this card, but it's super cheap.
Yeah, this is your 1 mana trick for white. It is instant speed. All creatures getting +1/+1 seems quite strong, particularly because we're seeing so many ways to go wide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't imagine the draw of that Banalish Marshal into the card we just saw, Call the Cavalry, and then Charge. I mean, you've got 3 3/3s turning into 4/4s.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's a combat trick, so you pick them up a little bit later once you're in the go wide deck. But I think this is going to be pretty good in that go wide deck.
For sure, very much happy with that one.
Yeah.
We next have the D'Avant. I knew I wasn't going to get the one. D'Avenant Trapper.
Nice.
So someone who's French can correct me on how to actually say that. It's a 3 mana, so 2 and a white for a 3/2, and whenever you cast a historic spell, so there's your artifacts, legendaries, and sagas, you get to tap a creature an opponent controls. So Tapper is generally pretty good. Tappers, when you can activate them when you want, tappers are exceptional. This one's a bit more situational. You have to have the right cards to do it, but it seems strong enough.
Yeah, it seems like a really aggressive card. So if you've got tapping down their biggest blocker is pretty good on even at sorcery speed. Obviously, it's not as good as stopping them from attacking, but if you're aggressive, this is a powerful effect if you can trigger it reliably.
Definitely, and this is your red-white aggressive artifact sort of equipment type deck that you want to put this into.
Oh yeah, this is really good with equipment.
So you're just playing your equipment, tapping guys down, and swinging in as much as possible. So
Yeah.
seems good.
Yep.
Don't need it in a slower deck. If you've got the blue-white flyers deck, this isn't as important. So really judge what your deck is trying to do. If you want to be more aggressive and hit through guys, then you need this, and if not, then maybe don't worry.
I don't know. In the blue-white flyers, it might be good because there's only so many flying blockers that they have, and if you can equip if you're using equipment on your flyers and tapping guys down, I don't know, that seems pretty good to me.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you've got that available, it's still going to be good in that deck.
Yeah, yeah. And the stats aren't horrible by themselves.
Yeah.
Denitha, Capashen, Paragon. I've said that wrong. 2 and a white for a 2/2 legendary human knight. It has first strike, vigilance, and lifelink. Nice. And aura and equipment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. This seems like your white commander legend, right?
It might. I don't think you're going to be able to knock off Stram.
Yeah, probably not.
Because he gets to draw cards for them, but it definitely goes in that deck. And a good strong limited card. I mean, 2/2 first strike, vigilance, lifelink are a lot of combat stats. When you put that many words on a card, then it's got to be good.
Yeah, and making your equipment cheaper is fine. Yeah, usually not a huge thing, but it's nice.
I don't know, all those little short swords being 0 mana to cast seems nice.
Yeah, just load it up on short swords. Yeah.
This is also a great target if you happen to pull that Black Blade, turning this into a 6/6 or something like that with first strike, vigilance, and lifelink is going to be a beating.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Yeah, that's really cool.
Next we have a Daring Archaeologist. This is a 4 mana 3/3 human artificer. When Daring Archaeologist enters the battlefield, you may return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand, and when you cast a historic spell, put a 1/1 counter on the Daring Archaeologist. Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, it's decent stats. 4 mana 3/3 isn't bad. And it's not going to be too difficult to get a few counters on this guy.
Yeah, this guy's going to get pretty big. Like, if you have an artifact in your graveyard, you're going to get it's going to be 4/4 next turn. That's really good, and just you're getting value. Like, this is great, and we're seeing a lot of historic stuff in white, which is really cool. I think there's going to be a lot of white decks with artifacts in them.
Yeah, certainly blue-white and red-white are both looking to be artifact-heavy type of decks. We've also seen a number of creatures that, like the little skittering explorer thing that gets you a land, that you're just going to chump block with. You get that back, get another land, get this guy pumped up. So
Value Town.
Certainly got some good value to be found with the Daring Archaeologist.
Yep, really good. Dauntless Bodyguard. 1 white mana for a 2/1 human knight. And as it enters the battlefield, choose another creature you control. And then sacrifice Dauntless Bodyguard. The chosen creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Wow, this is a really good card.
Yeah,
Good early, good later in the game. Wow, this is a really good card. This is going to see standard play.
Yes, yeah, this is the second card that I would put into my standard Knights deck. The first being History of Finalia. But this is so good. Having a 2-powered 1 mana creature is really important for aggressive decks. Don't worry about playing this on turn 1. Just put it down and attack if you got that aggressive deck. You don't need the rest of the ability. Though the rest of the ability is rather nice.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with 1 mana 2/1s is that they're pretty crap later in the game, but this is actually a really good ability later in the game. So I'm super happy with this card.
Yeah, this is going to have to be picked up very early, and if you see this second or third, move into white, because white is open.
Yeah, probably. Dub. It should... sorry, when I see dub, I think of subtitles and dubbing. 2 and a white for Enchantment Aura. Enchant a creature, and enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has first strike. If it's a knight... and it is a knight in addition to its other types, which is really cool flavor.
Yes. Yeah, that seems nice. It's a good buff. +2/+2 and first strike is quite strong. There is a bit of removal and a bit of bounce around, so we need to be careful about what we do with this.
Yeah. I'm not huge on it, but if it sticks around for a couple of turns, you're probably in a lot of trouble.
I think it's fine. I don't think I'm going to be rushing to put these in my deck. They're going to get cut a lot, but I feel like I'm probably going to pick them up every now and then just to see what happens.
Yep. Sometimes you need a Voltron.
Sometimes you need a Voltron. Sometimes you need a hero and make a new knight. Alright, next we have Evra, Halicon Witness. This is a 6 mana 4/4 with lifelink. It's a creature avatar, legendary creature avatar, and you can pay 4 mana to exchange your life total with Evra Halicon Witness's power, which is weird.
Yeah.
There's a lot of strange things that go on with this about when you can do it and how you do it, and I'm going to say it's a good card. Putting all of that together, the fact that you can attack, and if they haven't blocked, they're dead, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Even if they have blocked, you can effectively trade with any creature that you want by giving your life total to that creature, and it has lifelink, so it gives it straight back. The only time you get blown out by that is if they have instant speed removal. So that's the only thing you really need to be worried about when activating that ability is, can they kill it at instant speed?
Yeah. But if you get one hit in with this thing, I don't see how you're losing the game.
Yeah, exactly.
This card's ridiculous.
Well, if you activate it and get a hit in, you effectively just gain 4 life.
Yeah, no, I know that,
So-
but now you've got a huge dude and a huge life total.
It still only has 4 toughness, so
I
it's
know,
not
I
too
know.
hard to kill.
Yeah,
It's
when I
a
first saw it, I
6/8,
thought it was
can-
busted. But
Oh yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. If you're getting in once, that means they're scrambling for an answer. I don't know. This card just seems amazing to me.
Oh yeah. If you actually hit the enemy player, then
Yeah,
they're in a lot of trouble. If not outright dead, because your life total should be pretty close to theirs, you would hope.
yeah. This is one of those threats that doesn't seem that good, but it demands an answer. If you don't answer this really quick, you're dead.
Definitely. So cool card. Definitely I'm going to be picking that up early and playing it often.
Yeah, for sure. Excavation Elephant, 4 and a white for a 3/5 elephant. Yeah, and it has a kicker of 1 and a white. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. So, another good value card. This is probably lower on the scale, because a 3/5 for 5 is just not very good. But you'll know when you want this, I think. You've got to be in a dedicated historic deck, I think, to want it. And you have no other 5s.
Yeah, pretty much. You want to have a lot of historic synergies going on, things that get sacrificed, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's certainly. Sometimes you just need this card. Sometimes you just need a 5-mana 3/5, which it happens, but it's not ideal.
Yeah.
But not too bad. We'll keep moving. To Fall of the Thran. This is a 6-mana saga. Step 1, destroy all lands. Armageddon for 6 mana.
Yay.
And then over the next 2 turns, each player returns 2 land cards from the graveyard to the battlefield. So holy crap, they reprinted Armageddon. Or they printed an Armageddon effect in Standard. That's kind of crazy.
Green white ramp. Ramp.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just smash. Maybe you can get this out before they have 4 lands, if you ramp hard enough, and then they're not going to get the triggers at the end as much.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is that great. Do you?
Historically, Armageddon was used in those really aggressive white decks, and green-white decks, in fact, to stop your opponent from recovering when you get ahead. So once you've got your board full of knights, once you've got your board full of creatures, you just go, well, I don't need lands anymore. Kill them all, and your opponent is kind of screwed because they can't recover fast enough.
Yeah.
So it might find a place in that as a curve topper, particularly against control. If the control deck ever has to tap out and you then smash all of their lands, it's pretty much lights out.
Yeah, but over the next 2 turns, they get lands back. It really depends on how far ahead you are at the time, right? Because usually the problem is you've got to draw your lands and then play them, and that's the problem. Yeah. But if you're getting 2 lands, your opponent could be on 3 lands next turn, and that's enough for a removal spell.
Sure. So overall, I would say this is probably not a great card. It might find a home in a standard deck somewhere, but I certainly don't want to play this in limited.
Yeah. What about Commander? Everyone hate you.
Pretty much. Most Commander circles that I have been in are not okay with mass land destruction. If your group is okay with it, then go nuts. This is probably the kindest version of mass land destruction that exists, but that's not saying much.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I just wanted to see what you thought about that.
Taking away 10 lands and giving you back 4 is not going to win you any friends.
No. But what are they going to do?
Yeah. Alright, next. Gideon's Reproach.
Yeah, 1 and a white. For an instant, Gideon's Reproach deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. So we've sort of seen these kind of things. I think 4 is the highest damage we've seen.
Pretty sure this is a
Among
reprint.
Oh, it is. Okay. Situational removal. You'll play it, but it's not as good as your, just pacifisms or O-rings or anything like that.
Yeah, this is probably, again, this is your early game removal for white. You're going to need these because white doesn't have a lot of other removal spells. You've got your late mana Blessed Light, late game 5 mana Blessed Light card, so those together will cover you across the game. The last time we saw this, it was Gideon with his Surreal, slashing someone for 4, but he doesn't have that anymore. He's lost his Surreal, so now he just has to punch people in the face.
Nice.
It still works.
Still does the same amount of damage.
Functional white removal spell to be had.
Yeah.
Next we have some Healing Grace. This is terrible. Don't play it. It's gain 3 life. It's Healing Salve.
Oh, is it?
It's basically Healing Salve.
Okay.
Sorry, I should read it out. It's a 1 mana instant. Prevent the next 3 damage will be dealt to any target this turn by a source of your choice. You gain 3 life.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty much neg 3 nego, right?
Yes. It reduces 3 power of a creature. Then you gain 3 life. It's situationally useful, but it's...
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. That isn't Lyra dying, is it?
I think Lyra is the angel standing above the knight.
Oh, okay. I can't really make out what's actually happening now. Yeah. But,
so it's
alright.
an angelic figure over a knight creature, certainly. One of the Banalish knights.
Okay, cool.
Let's move along to... That's supposed to be the other way around. That's History of New Benalia, which is a saga, 1 white. For an enchantment saga, on 1 and 2, you create a 2/2 white knight creature. And on 3, all of your knights get +2/+1 and vigilance until end of turn, I think.
Yeah.
And it has this magnificent art, stained glass art.
Yeah, that's crazy cool. It's probably my favorite part of the card. No, don't get me wrong. The card's awesome. I think it's a mythic rare, right?
It is a mythic rare, yes.
Yeah, and I think the reason for the mythic rare is playing them like one after the other is ridiculous, and because it doesn't seem that great in limited to me, where it couldn't be a rare. But it's getting a dude, making all your dudes big for a turn. Like, that's exactly what a go wide strategy wants to do.
Seems quite good. I'm just double checking. They don't get vigilance. The knights already have vigilance when you make them.
Okay.
They just get +2/+1 on the 3rd trigger. So I really like this card for standard in particular. This is the card that says to me knights should be a thing, and that's primarily because it's a mythic. If it was a rare or even an uncommon, I wouldn't be as confident in this knight deck. But the mythic says to me, Wizards is trying to sell cards, where they're trying to sell packs, and this is one of the best cards in the set. That's why they've made this a mythic.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a chase mythic, I believe, and definitely going to be forging forward on that knight deck. In limited, seems just good. I mean, it's that 4/4 stats over by turn 4, and then on the next turn they get even bigger. So yeah, snap.
Yeah.
First pick.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, the next one is Invoke the Divine. 2 and a white. For an instant, destroy target artifact or enchantment, you gain 4 life. So we've seen this before. Your naturalize effect, probably good in this set. You got your sagas and your artifacts, so I'd probably start one personally, and then move it to the sideboard if your opponent isn't that way inclined.
Fair enough. So you're still starting these in the main?
I think so. I've seen too many good enchantments and artifacts, and like decks being built around them. So I'm going to start one.
Fair enough. I'm probably sticking to keep this in the sideboard first and then bring it in if necessary, but either I can see the value in either approach. So
Yeah, and we'll find out quickly enough which one's right.
yeah, either way, you definitely want to have one of these around in your pool so that you can bring it in and use it when you need it.
Yeah, and sorry, just for that one, because it's such a strong sideboard card, I would pick it higher than I would your fillers, even if you plan on starting it in the board, just because when it's good, it's going to be real good.
Yep.
So pick it higher than your filler cards.
Yeah, this is definitely a middle of the pack. Like, oh, there's nothing great here. There's a couple of okay cards, and you would take this over those random bits and pieces, definitely.
Yeah.
We have the Knight of Grace. This is the other half, matching the Black Knight. 2 mana, 2/2 first strike. Has hexproof from black, so again can't be the target of black spells or abilities. And gets +1/+1 as long as any player controls a black permanent.
That's sweet. I like
That's
it.
very nice.
Yeah, I like it as much as the other one. This one's probably better because of the white synergies, specifically in white. So it'll get more buffs and things like that, but it's just going to be a good creature.
Very nice one, and first strike, a very annoying and powerful ability early in the game. This is going to swing through every other bear.
Yep, for sure. All right, Knight of New Benalia, 1 and a white for a 3/1 human knight. So this is going to be a role player for the Knights deck, and otherwise kind of boring.
Yeah, sometimes you need a 3/1. So aggressive low drop creatures are important. So this is Quendi, Pride of Femififith.
Yeah, okay. I'm not trying it.
He's a 4 mana 2/2 with double strike. So it kind of makes him a 4/2 on attacks, but he can kill any other X2s before dying. And it also gives creatures you control with first strike, they get double strike. And we have seen a couple of them already, a few of the uncommons. So.
Yeah, the last night that we saw. No, 2 ago. Yeah,
2 ago, yeah,
had first strike.
Knight of Grace,
Yeah. So, yeah, this is a nice little lord. Double strike's really scary. So this is something. Wow, it's not a rare. I was expecting this to be a rare. Usually we see double striking 2/2s at rare, but okay, yeah, this is going to be a good card, I think, if we're going to see it this often.
This is really worrying, and I mean, this is 3 uncommons that you can curve into. You have your Knight of Grace, 2 mana 2/2 double strike. You have Danitha, the Capuchin one, which is a 2/2 first strike, vigilance, etc. And then you put this down on turn 4, and now you have you have a board of double strikers. And that's all uncommon. That's not that magical Christmas land.
Yeah. There was a +3/+3 and trample combat trick, wasn't there? I'm pretty sure. Was it in red?
This is really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he's good by himself. As a 4 mana 2/2 double strike is a fine card. It's not amazing, but it's fine. And the fact that we've seen multiple first striking things makes this guy even better.
Yep. I kind of like this card, so
yeah. Going to be picking that up.
This one you're not passing. Lyra Dawnbringer, 3 white for a 5/5 legendary creature angel. She has flying, first strike, and lifelink, and gives your other angels +1/+1 and lifelink. This is a windmill slam bomb, and this card's amazing.
This is Return of the Baneslayer. This is kind of crazy. 5 mana 5/5. I mean, the last part, the angels, who even cares? Like, you don't even need that sentence to make this amazing. So pick it and play it all the time.
Commander Angel Tribal.
Yep, you can put it in your Commander Angel decks for sure. We have a Mesa Unicorn. There's a 2 mana 2/2 with lifelink because bears need upgrades. It's good bear.
Yeah, good card.
I'll probably play this over the 3/1. It's the 2 mana 3/1.
Yeah, it depends on what knight synergies you have, but if you didn't have any of them, I think this one's better.
You can make it a knight. You could dub the unicorn a knight.
Oh, that would be sweet.
Knight. Alright.
On Sarah's Wings, 3 and a white for a legendary enchantment aura. You enchant a creature. An enchanted creature is legendary, gets +1/+1, and has flying, vigilance, and lifelink. So you put this on a random 3/3 and go to town. This seems good to me, but I don't know if we're going to be going back to the day where auras are traps. It's really hard to tell.
Yeah, it's a little bit worrying, particularly the expensive auras. If you're committing 4 mana and a card to do this, this is kind of committing your whole turn. And for it to just be bounced, which we've seen multiple blue bounce spells, that would be really sad. I can sort of get behind the cheap auras because you don't commit quite as much effort to putting them on, but this is worrying. But it's a big effect, so I mean, one good hit with this.
It's almost worth it, right? Especially if it's bounce. If it's removal, that hurts a lot more, but it's almost worth getting a huge hit in with this kind of thing. And if they don't have the answer that turn, they're in a lot of trouble.
They are, yes. You only need a couple of hits with this to make it probably worthwhile before they find their removal spell. You're gaining a bunch of life and dealing a bunch of damage. So.
Yeah, because in the last set we saw the +1/+1 and make a 1/1 lifelink. That was really good. It was almost the best white common at the end of the format.
Yeah, that's a tough comparison because that was a lot cheaper and it came with another body.
It was only one cheaper, and it only made a 1/1 lifelinker. It was the big dude that. Anyway, just chuck this on your turtle and you'll
put this on the turtle. Absolutely. If you have a turtle and put this on it, I'm just scooping at that point. It's game over.
But yeah, there is inherent risk with this with auras, but this at the same time can be absolutely game breaking.
Cool card.
Powerful.
So this is a Pegasus Corsair. There's another Pegasus 1/3 flyer. If it attacks, you get to jump another creature. So you get to give another creature flying until end of turn, which is a lot of fun in your green-white decks because you just take your biggest silly green creature and smack him in the face.
Yes, but the stats on this are not good. I've never really been a huge fan of these effects, especially when the creature itself isn't a good rate. I think we had a Windrake in Hour of Devastation, and that was good just because the stats itself were good. A 1/3 for 3 is not. I don't think I can justify putting it in for that. The effect isn't good enough.
Fair, yeah. I think this is an expensive version of this, and in most white decks, you're probably not going to want this. It's only in a very specific sort of white deck where you're with white-green almost exclusively that you want to put this kind of a card in because you need to get through over the top sometimes. So I think it has niche applications, and I'm not going to be putting it in most of my white decks.
Yeah, same. Oh, this is cool artwork. Sanctum Spirit, 3 and a white for a 3/2 lifelinking spirit. And discard a historic card. Sanctum Spirit gains indestructible until end of turn. It's random.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good. But weird. But good. I'll play this.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of ways
to
get your artifacts back, to get your historic cards back through that big elephant and through the archaeologist. So this is where to enable those a bit more, and so all that synergy coming together could be really useful. Plus, a 4 3/2 lifelink isn't terrible either.
Yeah. Just the stats alone are decent, so...
Yeah.
Okay.
Next we have Seal Away. This is a 2-mana enchantment with flash, and when Seal Away enters the battlefield, exile target tapped creature an opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield.
That seems good to me. Like, really good.
It's a lot better than Gideon's Reproach, I would say. I mean, it only hits
for sure.
Hits tapped creatures, so effectively attacking creatures without vigilance.
Yeah, so you've got to be... It does... Yeah. The one thing with the damage ones is that it doesn't get your creatures that have abilities and things like that. So if they keep them back, it's no good. But this one also gets creatures that have tap abilities.
Yep.
So that's kind of cool. I think this one is better than Gideon's Reproach.
Yeah, very strong card. I think this is probably one of your better, if not the best, white removal spell that we're going to see.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Vigilance, doesn't do well with this. Or does really well against it.
Yes.
All right. Sergeant at Arms, 2 and a white for a 2/3 human soldier, and it has 2 and a white kicker. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, create 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. Why soldiers? This set's about knights, right? Why are we adding in these soldiers?
Who knows? Maybe they needed to make more tokens or something. They had a token quota.
But they didn't want the knights to be too good, or maybe.
Who knows? This seems fine as a white common. I think it's going to be nice for you going. It's going wide. It's doing all the things you kind of want in your white deck, but it's not doing any of them amazingly.
Yeah. No, this is fine filler. Like, filler that you'll be happy to play.
Decent.
Because it's decent in the late game.
Sarah Angel is back. This is a 5 and a 4/4 Flying Vigilance. Magnificent artwork as is displayed on our background.
Yep.
This is a good card. I mean, if you can't get Lyra, which is the dream, this is sort of the next best thing.
Yeah, at uncommon, this is the... You don't pass Sarah Angel too often. She's great. Don't know what else to say. You pick it, you play it. She's trusty old Sarah Angel since Alpha.
Yeah, so good card. How about her Disciple?
1 and a white for a 1/1 flying first strike. Whenever you cast a historic spell, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So I'm not as keen on the Disciple, but it probably has a place in your historic decks as an aggressive beater.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it's a flying man type card. It's 2 mana 1/1 flyer most of the time. Even with first strike, that seems a little bit sketchy.
Oh, it is. And I wouldn't play it in most decks. I'd have to have like 10 artifacts in my deck, I think, to play this.
Yeah, fair enough. If you're not getting that historic trigger at least half, if not more than that, of the turns you play, then it's probably not worth it.
Yeah, agreed.
Then we have Shalai, Voice of Plenty. This is a 4 mana angel, 3/4 flyer. You, planeswalkers you control, and other creatures you control have hexproof. So it gives kind of everything hexproof except for itself. And you can pay 4 green to put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Seems pretty damn good. This is a scary card. If you don't get the green ability, it's still very, very good as a 3/4 flyer for 4 and giving everything else hexproof. If you get the green ability as well in the green-white going wide deck, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, this card is pretty crazy. They have to kill this straight away. And yeah, all I'm thinking about is splashing this in a green deck.
Yeah. The next thing I was going to say is that if you're in a green-heavy deck, you would splash this. If you're in green-red, you splash this. So yeah, this seems really good. It doesn't even have to be in a white deck to be awesome. So
yeah, no, you never pass this card, I don't think.
very powerful.
Find a way.
Find a way. Next up.
Teshar, Ancestors Apostle, 3 and a white for a 2/2 bird cleric with flying. And whenever you cast a historic spell, return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Wow. That seems pretty good to me.
Yeah, it's right. I mean,
Stats
it's
aren't
not
great.
Sun Titan, but
No.
they keep trying to make Sun Titan. They're using this ability of Sun Titan, but
Yeah, yeah, but Sun Titan's too good.
yeah, I know. It seems good. Yeah, 4 mana 2/2 flyer is pretty underwhelming, but in your little white aggressive decks, you can see this as almost a curve topper where you're gonna play a couple of historic spells, get your little dudes back, and keep hitting it as much as possible.
Yeah, I don't think this is a Windmill Slam by any means. Probably goes around the middle of the pack. Once you're in that deck, I think. Otherwise, because I don't think you really want it if you're not really triggering that a bit. It's weird.
I'm not sure. I mean, most of the white decks, I think, are going to want something like this. It gets back your little flyers in white blue. It's going to get you back your little dudes in white green and white red. So I think you can pretty safely take this and anticipate building around it.
Okay.
There's plenty of artifacts and stuff, historic stuff to pick up. So
Yeah, I want to like it. I just, when I think about it a little bit more, it seems tough to make it work. But I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, and I mean, you say middle of the pack. I think it's going to go a little bit earlier than that. I'm thinking first 4 picks.
Okay.
I would
I,
be taking this one.
I don't think I'm going to get it that often then,
Yeah.
because I don't think I rate it as high. But if I see it in action and it's good, I'll move it up.
Yeah. Next, we have a Tragic Poet. It's a 1-mana 1/1. And
Yeah.
you can sacrifice the Tragic Poet to return target enchantment from your graveyard to your hand. So this is, I have some really awesome sagas that I want to play again. I will put Tragic Poet in my deck.
Yes. And that's probably it, right?
That's pretty much it. Possibly because you have on Sarah's Wings as well, because you might want to get your Sarah's
Yeah.
Wings back. So yeah, you really don't want this unless you have a lot of high power enchantments, not just your random auras.
Yeah,
The top level auras or sagas.
you want like 3 really good auras in your deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Triumph of Gerard, 1 and a white, so a really cheap saga. 1 and 2 is put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control with the greatest power. Okay, so it makes your biggest creature bigger. And then number 3, target creature you control with the greatest power gains flying, first strike, and lifelink until end of turn. Wow, this is really beating down, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
So turn 1, you play your 2/1, then you play this, and then you play something else, and then your big thing's attacking for like 4 in the air.
Only for a turn though. I guess this would probably be a good reason to put a Tragic Poet in. Because this is the kind of thing that you want to get, play early, recycle, play again. Because it's cheap enough to do that. So I can see if you have a couple of these, I'd be thinking about my Tragic Poet a bit more.
Yep.
Generally, I like this card. The +1/+1 counter permanent buff, it's cheap enough that you could play it with something else on turn 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, good card.
Yeah, I think it's all right. I don't know why I have a problem with it. I can't pick it, but
It doesn't do
is,
a lot.
Yeah, it's such a small thing, but over the course of 3 turns, it's probably worth it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm finding these sagas hard to evaluate.
They are really tricky, and we've never played with anything like this before. We've got this little iterative effect.
Yeah.
So we're going to just have to wait and see, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be really good to see how they play out.
Alright, so we have Urza's Ruinous Blast. This is our white legendary sorcery from the great Urza. 4 and a white. And it you can exile all non-land permanents that aren't legendary. Obviously. Yeah, no, don't like it.
We don't like it.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's really dependent, isn't it? Like, this is a Wrath, pretty much.
Yep.
And if you're playing a lot of Legends, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I guess it's so narrow in its application where I'm not going to be first picking Urza's Ruinous Blast or even picking it early. If I get it in pack 3 and I already have a deck that has Legends and I can reliably A, cast it, and B, have more Legends in play than my opponent, then I'm going to want to use it. But I have to have both of those two things before I want to play this card.
Isn't it like a Wrath?
Well, it's kind of like a Wrath, but if my opponent has 3 legendary creatures and I have 1, then I don't want to play it. And that's a reasonable possibility in this set.
Yeah, fair enough. And also, of course, the requirement to cast it.
Yeah, so you assume that you're keeping 1 creature. You're keeping at least 1 legendary creature because you're casting the spell.
Yeah, you have to, yeah.
But I think your opponent is likely... You can expect your opponent's probably going to be keeping 1 creature as well. So,
yeah, alright. Fine, I'm off it.
yeah, I don't like it. If your opponent is playing that stupid turtle, decide
Yeah.
this in. If you need to get rid of Hexproof, because this is how you get rid of Hexproof.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise I'm not a fan.
Yeah, you do what you got to do against that turtle.
Yeah. And that is it.
Oh, that's it.
Let's finish it off. So that's all the white cards. This looks like some powerful white stuff.
Yeah, white looks really good, especially that angel. My God. And yeah, the whole set looks a bit more powered up than the last few blocks, I think. I'm really excited about the cheap removal spells, the Llanowar elves, and just the Baneslayer Angel as well. Like this is really exciting set.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm certainly looking forward to getting in and doing some drafting. The white uncommons look so incredibly powerful, and the set as a whole looks really powered up. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can play some powerful Magic.
Yep. Yeah, I'm really
So it's
looking
all
forward
good.
to it.
All right, well, thank you all so much for joining us. That's the end of our set review. Get out there, get to your local game stores, and play some Magic at the pre-release next week. And hopefully, you build some awesome decks.
Yep, look forward to seeing you all there.